Okay, so just thought I'd do a quick video. I'm currently looking for work, and I just wanted to go through a few issues that I've discovered along the way. I haven't had to look for work in a really long time, almost 14 years. I was at the same job, and I was let go earlier this year. So things have changed a lot. I'll just say that right up front. Looks like there are a lot of scammers, identity thieves. I actually got caught by one. They managed to get into my PayPal account, make some fake purchases, got away with quite a bit of money. Very frustrating, especially when you're now having to live on unemployment and then you have to stop looking for work to go deal with problems like that. A couple of things that I would recommend whenever you are using a tool like ZipRecruiter or Dice or Monster or please stay away from LinkedIn. LinkedIn is probably the worst one as far as identity thieves. I've not had one valid hit from anything that came from LinkedIn. LinkedIn is just full of scammers, identity thieves, and fake job postings. Don't even bother. It's not worth your time, and you're just going to end up getting into a lot of trouble if you do. So some of the other ones, we'll start with ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter does come up with the occasional valid job posting, like this one for example, and I would recommend never just click on apply now, because it may take you someplace that you don't want to go. You can actually pull the URL, and there are some tools online that will kind of help guide you to find out whether or not these are fake links or not, although it doesn't always work. What I recommend, stay with companies that you know actually exist. Like this one for example is a company that actually exists, and they do have a local office where I live. Make sure that they are local. Call them directly. Say, hey, I saw this posting on ZipRecruiter. I saw this posting on Dice. Is it valid? It may take them a day or two to get back. Don't email. I've tried emailing, and scammers are pretty good at coming back and saying, yes, this is legitimate, blah, blah, blah. Speak to a real person. Make sure, even if it's a reputable company like this one, for example, do make sure that you're speaking to a person who's local. Get to know recruiters in the area where you live and make sure you deal with them specifically. One thing that you'll definitely want to be careful of is you'll see postings, and they might even be legitimate ones like this one here, for example. It's been showing up in every single email that I get daily for months and months and months. I've applied to it more than once, never heard anything back, and a lot of times the reason that you're running into these kind of issues is that this might actually be a legitimate posting from a company who's put it out there, but they really have no intention of hiring anybody for this position. It's really, at the end of the day, just to make their bottom line look better to investors. Makes it look like they're hiring when in fact they're not. And also another thing it does is people that actually work at this company are probably complaining, hey, we need help, we don't have enough people, and they'll put these kind of postings out there with no intention of actually filling it. And they may even interview, because I've interviewed for some of these jobs before, and then you don't hear anything for a while, and then you reach back and they say, oh, well, we're still interviewing other candidates, and then eventually they'll say something along the lines of, we're regrouping. And that usually means that they're really not interested in filling this job, and they never were to begin with, and they'll leave the post out there for sometimes up to a year. I mean, they might leave it out there for a really long time. Be careful with old job postings. They're definitely going to be issues that you're going to run into. ZipRecruiter is not the worst by far, I would say, but they're not good either when it comes to getting things in your local area. However, if you do upload your resume there, it will pull reasonable posts a lot of the times. Just be really careful. I never click on these apply now. I usually just go contact the company first and say, hey, is this a real job posting? If it is, I'll send you my resume. Now let's get into Monster. So Monster's pretty terrible for a couple of reasons. I've not had a realistic valid hit. I do IT work. My resume is full of IT experience going back 20 or more years. They have a tool that you can go take your resume, upload it, and then it'll start kind of spitting back emails, and I get 2 a day actually, with job listings that are supposed to be based on the resume that I uploaded. And as you can see in this one, fleet maintenance technician, no. Technical support planning, that's kind of an IT position, but it's really not based on any experience that I had in my resume. Farm bill support, don't know what that is even. Car washer, more car washers. I mean, literally the hits you get here off of Monster are ridiculous. Now let's talk about these. So once you've signed up for all these things, and a lot of these I think actually come from LinkedIn because people see your availability on LinkedIn, that you said, hey, I'm available for work, here's my resume, yada yada. You'll see something like this, and here's been my experience of what happens with this. I'll get a phone call. It's from outside the area, and a lot of times it'll even say potential spam, so I don't answer it. I let it go to voicemail. As soon as it hits to voicemail, I'll get 2 emails that look just like this. There's nothing in here to indicate at all that this is any kind of a legitimate posting. Don't know where it came from. Don't know how they got my email address. There's just a lot of stuff about this. I've never heard of this company. sysdatainc.com already just sounds fake to me. The contact number's out of my area. The rate, sometimes the rate is actually kind of ridiculous. Sometimes it isn't. Watch out when it says immediate requirement, or they want you to contact them immediately, and sometimes you'll even get phone calls, like I'm actually getting one right now. You can hear my phone ringing, and yeah, it's another fake posting. So I should expect to get another email here shortly. Anyway, so I never respond to anything like this anymore. I got caught by identity thieves who actually were able to gather enough information from me to get into my PayPal account and make fake purchases on my PayPal account and steal hundreds of dollars from me. So I never respond to anything like this. Just don't do it. Here's another one, same thing. These don't even look legitimate. They're literally not. And I've actually found a couple of these where they use real company names, and I'll go back and contact the company and say, hey, is this a real job posting? And if I do this on my own, they'll usually say, no, that's not one of our postings. And the person who's presenting themselves as a senior recruiter does not work for us. So you got to be really careful about this kind of thing. Just watch out for anything that looks like this. These are just, I don't even respond. I just ignore them completely when they come in. This was the last hit I got from Dice. It was over a month ago. It's a realistic job posting, and I actually applied to this job and never heard anything. And I've not gotten an email from Dice since this one on 5/12, and it's June 3rd today. So literally, they're like probably the worst one where you just don't get anything. For a while I was actually getting some emails from Dice, and then all of a sudden they just, for whatever reason, they stopped. So not very helpful there. Here's another thing that's been happening a lot lately. This was a realistic job posting. Thank you for your application for the position of Lead Technical Support Coordinator. We appreciate your time and effort to put in the application process. Unfortunately, due to unseen business circumstances, hiring for this position is currently on hold. This has happened several times with several jobs that I've applied to, and so just because of that, again, a lot of wasted time. I've actually had some of these where I actually had a job where they actually made an offer. I got an offer. I had interviewed on site with the hiring manager. Hiring manager extended me an offer. I accepted the offer. I did all the onboarding. I did all the paperwork. I wasted an entire week. And then the day before I was supposed to start the job, there was a hiring freeze, and that job just disappeared. And that's just the nature of the way the economy is right now. These jobs literally just get yanked out from under you. This has happened to me now 3 times because of that. Again, here's another one that just looks completely fake, and I didn't even bother responding to this. There's just nothing about this that looks realistic to me. I tried to look up this information online. I couldn't even find anything about this company. And I don't click on these kind of links because sometimes they take you places you don't want to go. So, and again, I don't know where this came from. I don't have any idea how this person, except maybe off of LinkedIn. Because if I go look up this person on LinkedIn, that person actually has an account on LinkedIn and has some followers, so it almost kind of looks realistic. But when I saw that the number was out of the area, this person actually tried to call. It came up as potential spam, so I didn't answer it. He left me a voicemail and wanted me to call him back, which I did not, because by that time I figured out what was going on here. So just be careful when you're out there is all I'm saying. There's a lot of crap out there right now. Jobs are not as plentiful as they appear. So just be careful when applying, be careful when contacting people, be careful when responding to emails. In fact, I would not respond to an email unless I check the company out first and make sure that it's actually valid in some kind of realistic way. So just a heads up. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, if anybody has any hints or help, I'd be more than happy to, because I've been looking for work since the beginning of this year, since January, and just not finding a whole lot out there. Anybody who has any suggestions, especially if you know of anything in the Indianapolis area, more like the Columbus area, which is a little bit south of Indianapolis, then yes, definitely reach out to me and let me know. All right. Thanks for watching.